Hello YouTube world, Magic Hour Movie Man here with a Blu-ray DVD update. Some of these, or actually most of these, are Blu-rays and DVDs I picked up over the last weekend with Crazy Jason. So if you go to the Crazy Jason channel, you should see these pop up on his movie adventure, which I joined him on in Wilmington, North Carolina. So check that out at some point. I don't think he has it up yet, but it should be up, I think, over the weekend is what he told me. But this is, like I said, Blu-rays and DVDs that I picked up. Also, after I go over the Blu-rays and DVDs, I have a Netflix Instant Watch recommendation. I think I'm going to try to throw that in with these updates because there's a lot of good stuff to find on Netflix Instant Watch. You might discover some movies that otherwise you may not have sought out. So I'll try to recommend stuff as I see them. But let's get going with the Blu-rays and DVDs. First up is a Blu-ray that I did not pick up with Crazy Jason. I picked this up just 2 days ago. It's Rise of the Planet of the Apes on Blu-ray. Now, I had not seen this. This was a blind buy, but I'd heard great things and I really wanted to see it. But what really sold me on going ahead and buying this is coupons.com has a coupon, $5 off, as well as some other Blu-rays and DVDs. So you might want to check that out, coupons.com. And you print those out. They're manufacturer coupons, so any change should accept them. But Best Buy and Target both have Rise of the Planet of the Apes for $14.95 or $14.99 this week. So with the $5 off, you get it for $10. So I figured for $10 it was worth a shot. I've already watched it. It is a great movie. I hate that I didn't see it on the big screen, but definitely if you haven't seen this, check it out. One thing I'll say is if you are easily affected by animals in danger or animals abandoned and then you're real sensitive to that, you may not want to see it, but it's definitely worth seeing. That's all I'll say. I might do a proper review at some point, so stay tuned to see if that happens. I picked up Sin City on Blu-ray. Again, this was a Best Buy purchase that they have it on sale, I think for $5.99 is what I got this for, so I was happy to pick that up. Have it on DVD, but I did not have it on Blu-ray. As well as the Coen Brothers box set, Blu-ray box set. Best Buy, Best Buy again had this for $19.99, and that includes Fargo, Blood Simple, Miller's Crossing, and Raising Arizona, all of which I wanted to own on Blu-ray. I already had Fargo on Blu-ray, but it was definitely worth getting this set to get the other movies. And now what I'll do is I'll just trade in my other copy of Fargo at Movie Stop, and I get a trade-in value for that. The next Blu-ray is a Blu-ray book, or Digibook as some people know it. It's Outlaw Josey Wales, a great Western, Clint Eastwood Western, which most of his Westerns are good. But I got this at Movie Stop. You might can see the sticker price there, $9.99. But I have a Directors Club card at Movie Stop, so it's 10% off of any used Blu-ray, so I had 10% off of that $9.99. So that was great. And I hope to get a Digibook, Blu-ray book video done here within the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. Show you what Blu-ray books I have. The next Blu-ray is from Movie Stop as well. It's Serenity. I'm a Firefly fan. It's a great series. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And then Serenity is the movie they did after the series had been canceled. Enjoyable, but it was, as you can see there, $7.99 and $10 movie cash for either Battleship, which I probably won't see, Snow White and the Huntsman, which I might see, or The Bourne Legacy, which that's probably what I'll use that for. Those coupons are always good for seeing some new movies coming out, especially if there's titles you want to add to your collection. And this is definitely a title I wanted to add to my collection. I've been waiting for the right price, and that's the right price plus the movie ticket. Can't beat that. Now, the next Blu-ray, I've been waiting for this to show up as a Criterion edition, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's MacGruber. This movie pretty much tanked in the office. Tanked in the office? What? MacGruber. This movie pretty much tanked at the box office. Critically reviled, but I found it very funny. If you like stupid humor, if you like Will Forte, if you like the MacGruber sketches, which I do, this isn't just the sketch done over and over or anything like that. It's actually a funny parody of 80s action films. So check it out if you haven't already. But I was happy to get that. Here's the nerdy part of me. I had to have it with a slipcase. Yeah, MacGruber with a slipcase. I don't know why that was important. But again, $9.99 at Movie Stop, and I had the Directors Club card, so 10% off of that. This next Blu-ray was a pawn shop purchase. It's the El Mariachi Desperado double feature Blu-ray, and this was $5 at the pawn shop. It's in great shape. Original case. Disc looks fine. I was happy to have that. Alright, the next movies, the next batch of movies here are actually DVDs. Again, you'll see these in the movie adventures with Crazy Jason, but just to include these on the DVD update video, we've got, these are from Big Lots, DVDs from Big Lots. A lot of these are classic films, which I'm trying to build up my classics collection. Big Lots has been a great help for that, because a lot of these classic titles don't tend to show up on Blu-ray, and if they do, I've got, I purchase them cheap at Big Lots, and then it shows up on Blu-ray later. Then maybe I can make Blu-ray DVD combos out of them. Who knows? We've got a Western here, Escape from Fort Bravo, with William Holden, John Forsythe. I like William Holden. I like Westerns, so that's a lot of these are blind buys, but I want to check that out, see if it's any good. Again, if it's not, I'll end up trading it in at Movie Stop. Sea of Grass. Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn. Elia Kazan directed this. I'm a fan of all those names, so we'll see if that's any good. The next title is a spaghetti western with Lee Van Cleef Sabata. I've heard good things about this movie over the years, read good things about this movie, so I'm excited to check that out. I love a good spaghetti western, so we'll see how that is. The next film is a war film starring Ronald Reagan, Hellcats of the Navy, combat classics. It's got some special features. I take that back. They list special features on the back, but they're just like digitally mastered, audio in English. How is that a special feature? The audio is in English. Thanks for that. So yeah, a war movie. We'll see if it's any good. The next DVD, Sidney Poitier, Pressure Point. It's a Stanley Kramer production. A lot of his films are really interesting to watch. He tried to tackle a lot of social issues in his movies. It's directed by Hubert Cornfield, who I'm not familiar with. But the Stanley Kramer name and Sidney Poitier are the names that sold me on buying this, as well as, check out this image at the bottom here. There's some psycho dude doing tic-tac-toe on a woman whose blouse he seems to have pulled down. Now, if that doesn't make you want to see this movie, then I don't know what to tell you. Evidently, it deals with some psychotic criminal guy who they are thinking about releasing from prison because he's been a model prisoner, but Sidney Poitier is the psychologist who sees him for what he really is. Again, that's just from the description on the back. I have not seen this yet, so I don't know if it's any good. So stay tuned. I might recommend that later if it is good. And then finally, this is a classic movie I've been wanting to have for years. It's Gary Cooper and the Pride of the Yankees. Who directed this? Sam Wood directed this. It's got 6 featurettes, so I like special features. I like classic movies. Gary Cooper, it's always a good name to watch, so I was happy to pick that up. Alright, so those were my DVD and Blu-ray picks. The last thing I wanted to talk about is a Netflix film, instant watch film that I watched. It's a Will Ferrell movie. I like Will Ferrell, but this is a movie that's a little different for him. It's called Everything Must Go. If you haven't heard of it, it's a little independent film. It's Will Ferrell being a little more serious than you may be used to seeing him in that type of role. This is closer to Stranger Than Fiction than it is, say, Anchorman or Blades of Glory or some of his other crazy movies. I really like this movie. It's called, again, Everything Must Go. The premise is he's a salesman at a big company who has a drinking problem, so he gets fired and his wife leaves him on the same day. Now, when his wife leaves him, she moves all this stuff out onto the lawn, changes the locks on the house, changes the security code. So everything that he owns is out on the front yard. So he gets home, finds everything there. Instead of really doing anything about it, he decides to just kind of live in his front yard. All his stuff is there. So he grabs, as many 6-packs as he can and tries to drink his problems away. But in the meantime, there's a little kid neighbor that he befriends. There's a neighbor across the street who's this pregnant woman that it seems like he kind of maybe has a crush on, and they form a kind of relationship. And then there's his sponsor, who is a detective, who pulls some strings and gets him a yard sale permit to buy him some time so he can figure out what he's going to do. Otherwise, the police were going to arrest him for trying to live in his front yard. So in the meantime, it's about him realizing what's important in his life, because in the beginning, all his possessions are out in the front yard, and he wants to save all his possessions. He doesn't want to sell them. The yard sale thing was just an excuse so he could buy himself some time. But then he starts playing the role of having a yard sale and slowly starts to accept selling some things off, so that by the end, the title Everything Must Go becomes kind of this, metaphor for the things that we hold on to in life. So it's just a really interesting film, I thought. So if you like independent films, if you want to see Will Ferrell in a different kind of role, definitely check that out. Again, it's on Netflix Instant Watch. So that's it. That's my Blu-ray DVD update. That's my Netflix Instant Watch recommendation. Thanks for watching. See you next time.